We're in a pandemic right now, but there's been a pandemic that's been going on a lot longer than this, and it's called family homelessness. Family and children homelessness. When people think of homelessness, they typically think of the person who's holding a sign on the side of the road or the tents that you see along the highway. But that's not even a fraction of who the homeless population is in Clark County. It's people who are doubled up in houses, sleeping on floors, couch surfing, living in tents, or sleeping in cars at night. And that's who we're serving in our program. We're serving real people with their children who are trying to make it in life. In America, just this year alone, 2.5 million children will experience homelessness. And in Clark County schools, over 2,500 children will experience homelessness just this year. In fact, 13% of children under the age of 18 will experience homelessness at least one point in their life.
Okay, I'm at Oswald. This is Misty, my wife. We came to Oregon because I was sick, and my son said that they had a lot of opportunities with better doctors and stuff. During our journey, we became homeless. We were struggling. We were staying in our car. We heard of this program, Family Promise. They took us in, and they took care of us.
My name is Samantha. This is my daughter, Alexis. And this is my son, Matthew. And we got into Family Promise by me calling. Therefore, put me in touch with a young man who put me on the list for Family Promise. You get put on another waiting list and you're thinking, wow, another waiting list. Your hope kind of dwindles. And next thing you know, I get a phone call and I started the process of becoming a part of the Family Promise program.
I'm Seth, and this is Connor Costello. We first got into the program, pretty much we had nowhere, nothing. Came from Michigan. Flew a sign at every truck stop that I could get to. When we got here, I knew the programs that were out here. I didn't know this one was coming up. We got accepted into it. They gave me the grounding I needed. He's been across the country 3 times. Been in about 10 to 12 different states, about 30 different cities. Been in every kitchen that I've worked in. And he's my little right hand. And he was a champ through all of it. He was a champ through all of it.
My name is Corinne Forney, and my grandson, Tanner Hull, moved in with us, my husband and myself, last June. When school started, and it was during COVID, Tanner was at home with us in his room. First he started out in the kitchen, then in his room on the computer, and Grandma was constantly saying, how's your work going? Are you getting it done? Blah, blah, blah. Well, come to find out, he wasn't doing that well. And for the first semester, he was all F.
I lived with my dad before my grandma, and it wasn't a very, I wasn't in a very good place then. I'll say it that way. I didn't really do any schoolwork or anything. I kind of just stayed in my room all day. Didn't do anything. So then when I moved in with my grandma, she was kind of on top of me about school a lot. So I kind of had to do my schoolwork. But it was really difficult in with like the COVID environment where it's all online, because I had to do it all by myself and there was no really social aspect to it.
Yeah, it was really hard going without, but we tried to do everything to provide for our kids. It was really stressful for me. Tanner's had a rough few years, and this last few months here has been great, just great. He, not only for school, but for his whole attitude, his whole outlook, his personality is back, you know? It's a wonderful program.
The hardest part is I don't have a partner to share the responsibilities with. And so it makes it a lot difficult to find housing that I can afford for what I get for low-income families. It's really hard.
A lot of shelters I would classify as a homeless jail. You voluntarily put yourself into jail with all the restrictions and boundaries that there are. They still leave it. Family Promise leaves it to where you're still you're still free, you still have your movements to make, but they give you the grounding and support to build from. And as long as you have the motivation to do it, it's really not that hard. I mean, it was rocky getting used to being in a stable environment, essentially. I mean, for the past 4 years of his life, we were in hotels, the car, just traveling across country. So just the stability alone and just the sheer awe of having a lease, it was beyond me. I was still in shock. It almost felt like a long-term vacation for a little bit. And then I realized the other day that I'm actually been in one place for 2 years. And that's longer than my mom kept me in one place. So, I don't know, it's an accomplishment. And he's still alive through it, you know, we're good.
It's hard, but hopefully in the end, we'll get through this with a home and each other.
The program really helped us with our grades because before Family Promise, I had terrible grades and I didn't know if I was gonna pass any of my classes because I was struggling with housing. And now that we have this program to help us, I know that my housing is really stable and that every morning we have a school right next to us. My grades are fabulous now. My GPA went up a lot and I just feel like Family Promise helped us a lot during this time of need.
We were blessed with a lot of things, with the place to stay, food to eat, pretty much a lot. And in doing so, we managed to save up money. We finally got our own place. We just graduated the program, a week ago, I want to say a week ago. We just got into our own place. We're doing really well. Once again, Family Promise helped us out with establishing beds, a bunch of stuff for us, like furniture-wise, kitchen stuff, things that we needed as a family to get started in our new place. And we've come a long way so far. But thanks to the help of Family Promise, I mean, my daughter, who's 18, she's gonna graduate. She was a failing student because of our homelessness, just bouncing around from place to place.
There's more social aspect, there's other students. And then as well as if I need help, people are right there to help me.
The lived experience that I have with homelessness was as a child. So really, when I am working with families and I see parents coming in and I see the children that have really lived beyond their years, that's something that really connects with me. I see the children that have had to make adult decisions and are just doing so much more than anyone who's 8 or 9 should be doing. I also can see the pain in the parents' eyes because they want to provide that same, happy, free childhood that every parent wants to provide for their kids, and that's just not a possibility. And so my lived experience gives me, I think, a different aspect of like, I can see how you got to where you are. I can see the pain that you have, and I want to be able to help you find the resources to kind of stop that cycle, because in my family that was able to happen. And so I know it can be done, and it's about community and offering those resources.
The one thing that's unique about a Family Promise model is it engages resources that already exist in the community to address a community need. And so all the congregations and organizations that provide the space and the meals, the hospitality, that give people that safe place to be while they're in our program is I've seen volunteers just light up when they talk about their own sense of worth, and it comes with serving others.
I think it's really important to recognize the dignity in every human being. And I think that, unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. I think it's really easy to intellectualize ideas and intellectualize problems and turn them into policy issues to the point that we forget people's humanity and inherent dignity that we all deserve. And so that is the thing that I most appreciate about this program, is that our baseline expectation is every person who walks in this door is treated with dignity and respect and honor as they are helped through this program.
You can volunteer as little or as much as you want. Volunteering once doesn't commit you to volunteering. I also always tell people that Family Promise is a unique program because of the depth of our reach. So even though we only help 3 to 5 families at a time in our shelter program, the services that they're receiving are so deep that we're changing their lives and the children's lives forever. They're getting connected to resources in our community that will help sustain them as they get into housing. They're learning financial skills so that they're able to maintain their rent payments and maintain their housing. We're not just putting people in shelter and then hurrying up and trying to get them into a home so that we can mark a checkbox. We're really trying to change their lives.
What I really enjoy is watching a lot of our volunteers interacting with the families. And then after a little bit of time, they realize, they're just like us, right? Just different circumstances happening in their lives than ours. And it's not their fault, it's just things happen. And it's really fun to be able to help people and just, give them a home. But even better is then once they graduate and have their own home, just to have that kind of an impact on a family's life.
There's not a whole lot of glamour to volunteering here. It's very quiet. It's very unseen. You're not going to be noticed. There's not going to be a whole lot of picture taking. You're not going to be out in the sun all wearing, the same color t-shirts. You're not going to be doing a lot of different things that are cool to post on Facebook. Matter of fact, no one will probably ever know that you volunteered here. So it's not a whole lot of glamour, but there's a deeper sense of the rewards you get and the rewards you give mostly by volunteering here and the families you impact. And so I would encourage anybody that, out of all the places that you can volunteer at, this is one of the most rewarding ones I've personally experienced.
Family Promise has given us another chance at life. If it weren't for Family Promise, I don't know where we would be.
It's probably one of the best programs I've seen. Just thank you. There's nothing more I can say. I think keeping it simple as that.